So, Paul,
Yeah.
you have white guilt.
Oh, God.
What now?
Somebody
What now?
finally has the answer?
Yeah, dude. How to transform your guilty feelings into effective anti-racist action. You looking forward to that?
I've been looking forward to this. Please, give me this information.
So you got to recognize destructive patterns and develop a healthier anti-racist white self.
Okay.
Okay? At this time in our history, when so many white people are waking up to privilege and oppression and seeking to get involved,
Stay woke.
how do we engage each other more productively? How can we help each other take more effective action? How do we build deeper cross-race alliances?
I don't know. How do we do it?
How do we do it?
It's kind of like sounds like Star Trek talk.
Yeah, you will receive guidance that will help you cultivate a both/and mindset that will allow you to hold the tension of being complicit with racism and white supremacy while simultaneously cultivating a healthy white anti-racist identity.
You will receive guidance that may help you to deal with other species' cultural differences.
So in this webinar, Paul, you will address the ways white guilt might be interfering with your interactions with people of color.
Yeah, Paul.
You will identify the difference between shame and guilt and how they can be destructive. You will hold space for guilt and cultivate a healthy anti-racist identity. You will envision more productive methods of engaging with anti-racism work, and you will learn how to take a more effective action in the fight against racism.
I'm ready to start.
It's just $35, Paul.
What?
$35.
That's it.
$35?
Yeah, $35.
What?
Can I get that
Dude,
$35 for
That's
you,
a
Paul?
small price to pay to defeat your white guilt and
Yeah.
racism, Paul.
Why does it cost money to save the world and build cross-racial alliances?
Yeah, you would think if this was really such a good thing that's going to
They'd
help
want to give it to you for
yeah,
free, wouldn't they?
wouldn't they? It seems like they're just trying to make money.
We
I
live in
don't
a
know.
capitalist society, guys. They have to pay for their time.
Oh, I gotta put in all my billing details
Yeah,
and
so
shit.
let's get Paul, Paul's card, dude.
Oh my God! Can you go
Paul,
back?
give me your credit card.
Fuck you! No, go back up.
Uh-huh.
Go back up to their shit. Go back to their shit.
Back to the shit, huh?
Yeah. Go right there. It says, hold on. No, go back up a little bit. In the hold space for guilt. Dude, as if a human being isn't already a neurotic, guilt-ridden mess as it is. This is so it's like, you should have this guilt. You will hold space for the great sorrow of what people who came before you has done. Like, I understand that. Do you guys understand at all what the genesis of this whole movement was? Like, where do you think this type of thought started?
Started?
I mean, like, where does it come from? Where does this idea come from that we should be guilt plays a role in acknowledging the horrible things that have happened in the past?
Right. I don't know exactly what the line of thought was that started it, but I mean, from what I can tell, it's kind of been like, okay, black people to this day, a lot of them live in impoverished, communities that have a lot of problems, and so they say, okay, well, this is because we never got a fair shake in this country because of slavery and all this other institutional stuff that held us back. And so you need to be accountable to help us fix that because your ancestors did it and blah, 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 blah. So it's like that. But I don't know specifically
Right, no, I get
who
all
started it or when.
I'm
or
just
any of that.
wondering why
Wake up
guilt
to your
has
own
to be part
privilege.
of the narrative.
I don't know.
Because guilt is almost never worth experiencing
Because you
as a human
live
being.
as a white person in a society that benefits only you, and there's systemic racial oppression, Paul, and that you benefit from regardless of whether you acknowledge it or not. And so you're privileged, Paul. You're automatically privileged
Right,
living in this country. So by acknowledging that privilege, this is how you have to act. This is basically rules and guidelines for interacting with other people from this group, how they want you to act, and what's the proper way.
I mean, do you I
You need
just
to
don't
prostrate-
understand.
Look, Paul, you need to
can I ask you
prostrate
guys,
yourself before
as
them, dude.
white guys growing up, did you know that your life was probably way different because you were white?
I
Like,
didn't-
did
I don't
you-
think it was. I didn't have much of a cognizance of it.
No, I mean, like as a teenager.
oh,
When you know, obviously as a fucking little kid, you didn't.
I didn't. Not really. No.
No, as a teenager, you didn't. You never had the thought like, man, it's probably a pretty good thing I was born white because if I was born black, I'd probably be pretty.
No,
boned.
I don't really think I ever had a thought like that in my teenage
Yeah, not
years.
really.
I might have had. I think probably the first time I ever really kind of thought that was there was a time when me and Galen were driving around in his car, and he used to have this old Caddy.
Yeah.
And it really did look like a car that you'd stereotypically see a black dude driving around in.
Right.
And so the police followed us for a number of blocks, and then once they saw we were white, they were just kind of lost interest completely and drove off. So that was kind of like a ooh. It's
Right.
a good thing I'm white kind of moment.
I guess maybe I was surrounded by racial divides when I grew up, and so it wasn't necessarily black people. For me, it was Mexican people. I would
Right.
see Mexican people living in shitty housing on top of one another or in lean-tos and shit, and going wow, all right, well, I guess I fucking won the lottery because I don't see any white people out there amongst the fucking ghettos. You know what I mean? Like that.
Did
So
you
it's
feel,
like,
did you feel guilty about it?
no, that's my point. It's not guilty personally. I felt an impetus to advocate for policies that would breach that racial divide and allow more economic freedom for people despite whatever their color and racial background and religious background would be. But that didn't mean I ascribed some personal fucking responsibility for it to myself to the point where I'm wringing my hands with guilt. This is actually talking about guilt.
Yeah.
Being oh, I'm white. Oh, Jesus. That never happened to me. In fact, it was the exact opposite. I was like, woo!
Thank God
goodness.
I'm white.
Relief.
You know what I mean? But how does that prevent me from having any fucking knowledge at all of the racial divides? I'm not
Paul,
saying I know what
it's
it
not
it's
enough. It's not enough that you advocate for a more fair and equitable fucking system.
Right.
You have to feel emotionally bad
just
about
don't-
who you are.
Feel bad.
I just don't understand what that serves.
It serves they want you wallowing in misery. Don't you understand?
Yeah, I just don't get it. But for $35, they're going to teach you how to wallow in misery selectively, but learn to be slightly more happy within the context that
Of
you're
your
allowed
misery.
to be.
You're
Yeah.
dealing with it. Well, I'm sure that's the way it's contextualized. Well, you're dealing with your racism. You're dealing with your white guilt. These other people are denying it.
I don't even know, man.
The first step to solving a problem, Paul, is to acknowledge you have a problem. Mm-hmm. You have white guilt.
I've got the
there's some
guilt.
testimonials.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I love the personal stories and real experiences. Oh, yeah, I need to still read that. That Shelly and Selena shared. They were so helpful in making the lessons. Can you stop doing that? I'll stay on this one, thanks.
And context.
And context, feel real.
Dude, we should sign up for a group.
The webinar
Dude,
taught
let's
me
do
to
a
approach
group.
life.
Let's get a couple of our girlfriends
dude.
/ wives in here, and let's do a sit-in, and we'll buy the $150 package, and we'll sit in on this fucking group.
One is white.
I want to learn.
One is black.
One has dreads down her back. One is liberal.
Hey,
the
wait a
other
minute.
two.
This is false advertising. Her name is Selena Gray, when clearly she is black. So
Yes.
you need to change her name to Selena Black. And you need to be Shelly White.
Dude, there's a letter from the people, too. if you wanna
Shelley
read
White.
it.
Oh.
So does Shelley cede most of the time to the other speaker?
I hope that when it opens, she just puts this. She starts talking, and then
Hold
the black
up.
chick comes up and just
Wait a
puts
minute.
tape over her mouth.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
What?
Excuse
What?
me.
What?
Excuse
What?
me.
Oh,
TJ.
yeah, yeah.
Problematic.
Problematic.
Go up. Right there. Course leader.
Oh,
But Selena's also a course leader, but for some reason, Shelley is sitting on top of Selena, right on her chest like she has
Wow.
been for 1,000 years.
tisk, fuckity tisk.
How could they fucking miss this opportunity to spotlight a woman of color?
Selena should clearly be on top here. Here, let's read a letter from him. Years ago, Aware LA had trouble getting white people to register for its Unmasking Whiteness Institute.
I wonder why.
I wonder it's so what a mystery. Then
No shit.
Trayvon Martin's killer was acquitted, which is totally unrelated to that, but okay.
Right.
Then Michael Brown's, then so many others. We experienced the presidential campaign, the 2016 election, and its aftermath. The Institute now sells out months before the event.
Right.
Yeah.
Woke culture is big now.
Many white people's
Congratulations.
eyes have started to open. A lot of feelings come with that new vision. This is a critical time. People of color call for support. A lot of white people are joining the work. The thing is, white people need to be useful solidarity partners. Too much guilt gets in the way. We've seen it happen time and time again. So this is about learning to put your guilt in a certain part So
I feel so
where it's
guilty.
not so guilty that you're too crippled to be effective for them.
Right.
But
where you still
guilty
realize,
enough where you're fucking still bent over a barrel.
Yeah.
We're leading this webinar. Does anyone else hate the portmanteau webinar?
Not only do I hate the portmanteau webinar, I hate going to webinars. I've hated every webinar I've ever sat through, and I've sat through probably a couple
Ew.
of dozen of them in
Really?
my life.
That's gross.
Oh yeah, that used to be a big part of my job.
Oh,
webinaring.
yeah, that's true. You used to do the whole tech thing.
Oh yeah.
Share
They all suck. I've never been to a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound fun, dude. A webinar, dude.
$35.
You know what the first 30 minutes of every webinar is? Can you hear me? Can everyone in the room? Hold on, everyone. We're having some trouble. Okay, we're gonna get it figured out. I can't hear Lucy. She's in the chat. Lucy, can you hear us? That's what it is. That's how every I shit you not. That's how every webinar starts. It's like a
Lucy,
fucking
are you
farce.
there? Are you there?
Working together, this webinar will help white people understand the pushes and pulls of expectation and accountability. It will support people through their complicated feelings and questions. What should I do when? How do I know if?
It's like their new way to act around people of color.
Oh my god, am I a fucking 3-year-old, dude?
Yeah.
Here's what you should do if a person of color trips in the street. Should you A, help them up, or B, kick them?
Neither.
What do you think?
Neither, Paul.
Neither. You should immediately get down on the street and hurt yourself worse than them, and then give them the clothes off of your back and give them your cell phone so they can call the authorities to help them first.
They don't need the they don't
Wow.
need you to
Of
patronize
course.
them with your help.
Yes.
Of course, you want to hurt yourself to try to take the spotlight off the person of color, Paul.
No, you're just hurting yourself to show that you empathize with their pain, but you hurt yourself worse. And then you call the ambulance for them.
And here's some
As if they need your help,
Look at this
Paul.
2 fucking question FAQ, dude. And like I gotta say, it's just $35. Like that's some low price to listen to these 2 bitches bloviate.
Yeah. 150 for a group of 5 or more.
$35. How many months of fucking
5 or less.
Patreon does that get our viewers? And by the way, we're not acting like we're
7.
improving their fucking lives in any
Yeah.
way other than just giving them entertainment.
Right.
So
For what it costs you guys to get 7 months of deep fat fried contento, you can sit and listen to these 2 chicks tell you how guilty you should feel.
is
And
this
what you
too
should,
much guilt? No, that's actually not
yeah.
enough guilt.
And what you should do in every possible interaction with a colored person.
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, a person of color.
Yeah, a colored person is offensive.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah,
racist.
my bad. I'm
Whoa.
sorry. It just slipped out.
You need this seminar, dude.
Yeah.
person
well,
of color.
this is why Paul is going to take this fucking webinar.
I'm
dude.
not taking this
Dude,
fucking
you know what?
webinar.
I'll put up $17.50. You put up there $17.
Yeah.
All right.
Paul
How
can sit
about
down.
this? How about you guys both put up 35 and the 2 of you fucking dudes
No.
do it? I ain't doing
Nah,
this
dude.
shit. I ain't
Paul,
doing this
I'm-
fucking
they're
shit.
gonna-
We don't need it, Paul.
We don't need this.
What do you
You're
mean
the
you
one
don't
going
need
around
this?
calling people colored and such.
Them colored folks over there.
I didn't mean it that way. I was trying to
Oh, you didn't mean it that way. You
people
need
of
this
color
course.
thing, and it
Paul,
slipped
this is
out.
going to transform your guilty feelings into an effective anti-racist
I just can't.
action.
I'm not used to the vernacular.
Paul,
God,
you're
I
the
do
one who
have
needs
white
this,
guilt.
Paul. You're the one who needs this.
How do I be better?
Yeah. Well, they're going to teach you.
How do I be
They'll give
better?
you- well, that
They're gonna
seminar,
fucking teach you.
instant access, Paul.